Slocum basketball fans. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Oh, I can hear me now.
Lori Shepard here at the Barrie Auditorium alongside the coach, John Pellegrini. And guess what? We've had 3 games today, this being the 3rd game, but this is our state championship game because we love to call it Championship Saturday.
The El Grande.
This is it. Division III boys basketball, where we have the number 1 seed, Windsor Yellow Jackets, coming in with a record of 20-3, going up against the number 2 seed, Williamstown Blue Devils, coming in with a record of 20-3. But the big thing for the Williamstown Blue Devils, the defending state champs, 5 out of the last 6 years, 2 years ago losing to the Hazen Wildcats, but the defending champs, and in comes the Windsor Yellow Jackets, a very successful program in their own right. Haven't won a championship since, I think it was 2010, but I'm guessing here. You couldn't have scripted this one any better, Coach.
You think they're the underdog? You think what Windsor is kind of the underdog?
Absolutely. The number 1 seed right here is the underdog. This place is packed to capacity. When our Division II semifinal game ended, I walked out the front door 2 hours before tip-off, and the people were lined out the
all
parking
the way down
lot.
there, yeah.
So you're talking 2 schools very rich in basketball tradition.
And I know Williamstown fans, traditionally the student body has walked to the auditorium. They have a tradition of walking to the auditorium.
Really?
Yes, they walk to the Aud from Williamstown. And having been involved in a coach and having your team on the way to the Aud and running into your fan base, walking to the Aud, it's like a carnival atmosphere. It really is.
Wow. Well, I've got to say this. When we look at both these squads, they have not played in the regular season. Same record, 1 seed, 2 seed. You can throw that out the window when you get to the Barrie Aud, and more so when you get to the state championship game. Both squads, watching them in the semifinal, very impressed with them. They can get in foul trouble and survive. They can both go deep on their bench as well.
And they both can play big and they both can play small.
That's exactly it. So the only little tidbit I would give the Windsor Yellow Jackets is you got to play 32 minutes of basketball against the defending champs.
Absolutely.
You really do, because the success of Williamstown in their quarterfinal and semifinal game, 17-2 run in the 3rd quarter of their quarterfinal game, 17-6 run in the 3rd quarter of their semifinal game.
Flip side to that, I don't think that Williamstown can afford to come out flat.
No, exactly.
I really
not
don't.
Against this crew.
Not against this Windsor team. They came out, fell behind to Twinfield 11-3, and I don't think that they can afford to do that tonight, or they'll be clawing their way back all night.
Exactly. So we are now going to look at the starting lineup. So, Coach, I'm going to throw it to you first. You're going to look at the starting lineup for the number 2 seed, defending champ, Williamstown Blue Devils.
Okay, starting out, number 4 senior, Caleb Sweet. He's a big man. Colby Gingras, junior, number 10, will be starting at guard. Jacob Tassi, sophomore, number 11, will be starting at the other guard. Garrett Metcalf, number 20, he's a junior. And they're going to finish out with a big guy, Nate Poulin, number 33, and he's a senior. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Lori.
For the number 1 seed, 20-3, Windsor Yellow Jackets. In the backcourt, a 5'8" junior, number 11, Robert Slocum. In the backcourt / forward position, a 6'2" senior, number 13, Ben Meagher. Rounding out the backcourt, a 6'1" senior, number 14, Seth Balch. In the front court, a senior, 5'10", number 21, Dakota Page. And rounding out the starting 5 for the Windsor Yellow Jackets, a 6'5" senior, number 42, Adam Stapleton. And your Yellow Jackets, coached by longtime coach Harry Ladue, and I've got to say this, my keys to the game for the Yellow Jackets is Ben Meagher and Seth Balch. These two guards, Meagher can play the guard/forward position. They are going to need to have a huge game. Adam Stapleton going to need to stay out of foul trouble, as is Nathan Poulin.
That's a great point. Poulin seems always to be struggling with foul trouble, Lori. But you know what? When that goes down, when he goes down, it seems that Jacob Tassi seems to step up.
Absolutely.
So we'll be looking for both of those things.
So we are just a national anthem away from this Division III Boys State Championship. You are watching the Division III Finals here on NFHS. Back in a moment. Back here at the Barry Auditorium, we are just a tip away from getting underway for this Division III State Championship game. Lori Shepard alongside the coach John Pellegrini. Windsor comes in here as the 1 seed in their home white unis, and Williamstown as the 2 seed in their road blues, but the defending state champs. And thank God for Tom Corbett. I had Windsor winning that last championship 2010. It is 2008. And Kim Levins tips it up, and we are underway. Caleb Sweet corrals the tip, gets it in the hands of Garrett Metcalf. Windsor in their half-court man, over to Sweet at the three-point line, top of the key. And here goes Metcalf. Follows his own shot, but Adam Stapleton, the 6'5" center for Windsor, and he kicks it ahead to Balch quickly. Rattles around, no go, and Metcalf with the rebound kicked up to Nathan Poulin. He misses it at the other end.
He missed that horribly, Lori.
And we're not used to seeing that from Nathan Poulin.
Now the adrenaline is probably flowing
Absolutely.
120% here.
Slocum with the shot, kisses it off the glass, no good. But corralling the rebound, Dakota Page turned over. We got a battle of turnovers going here. Gingras turns it over, and as the dust settles, Balch with the ball gets it in the hands of Dakota Page. Back to Balch. Stapleton drawing a crowd, so Meagher says, I'll take that. Does he get the shooter's roll? No. Dakota Page says, I'll take that offensive board, and here goes Seth Balch, who I spoke about in the pregame, needing a big game out of Ben Meagher and Seth Balch. Balch, he hits the 3. Shot on the other end goes up by Gingras. Rebound Stapleton kicks it out, and I'm not quite sure who Slocum was kicking it to, but the turnover, and there goes Seth Balch off of the turnover. He hits his second 3 of the game to make it 6-0, the number 1 seed on top, and take a breath.
Yeah, they need to, like I was just going to say, Lori, they need to just take a breath here. I wonder if Jack Carrier will use a timeout here.
And the foul, going on Adam Stapleton. He got away with that in the semifinal, where he could just poke at the ball from behind him, but why not front? And that was too easy. Nathan Poulin inbounds to Garrett Metcalf on that weak side low block. And just like that,
Lori, I wonder who's going to step up for Williamstown. It's been a different person every night.
Exactly.
So we'll see who steps up tonight.
And right in front of us, the hot shooting Seth Balch, who has 2 3-pointers, but the turnover in the hands of Metcalf, and Metcalf turns it over. Slocum kicks it ahead to Balch, who says, why not? I got 2 threes, I might as well make it 3 threes.
I haven't got much room here in the first quarter scoring tab here, Lori. You better slow down.
I know. And I said we needed a big game from Balch, but guess who answers at the other end? The sophomore Jacob Tassi with a nice take to the rim and the finish. 9-4, approaching the 5-minute mark. And here goes Balch again. Well, I might as well shoot 4 3-pointers the first 3 minutes of the game because no one's closing out on me.
Lori, we talked about Williamstown not being able to come out of a slow start, and that's exactly what they've done here, falling 8 points behind.
And Jack Carrier, very unlike for the Blue Devils, being forced to call the first time out. We'll keep it here. Basketball fans, you are watching live coverage of the Vermont Principals Association Division III Final on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/VPA is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of VPA championship action. I got to take a breath now, Coach.
Jack was really, really stern in that huddle, and usually he's not like that. I mean, he was talking with a sense of urgency, even though we're only 3 minutes into the game.
Exactly. And Windsor comes out in a little bit of a token full court man. Off the shot, Nathan Poulin with a huge offensive board and the nice step up from the baseline 6-foot shot. Here goes Balch again. Well, he finally misses one. But the big rebound by Slocum is no good, and Poulin kicks it ahead to Metcalf. Metcalf on the other end misses it, which allows Dakota Page with a big board. And
that's about 4 turnovers for Windsor.
Slocum trying to get it into Stapleton, who is blanketed by double coverage, causing the turnover. Tassi on the left side, closely guarded by Balch, kicks it to Caleb Sweet.
Not his shot.
No, not his shot. Big rebound.
I don't think
Slocum.
I've ever seen him take a 3-point shot.
But here is a 3-point specialist in Jacob Tassi on the turnover by Windsor. Tassi puts up the shot.
And that's the second foul on Stapleton, Lori.
And here's the thing I said before we went on the air. Which big guy is going to get in foul trouble? And the answer is Adam Stapleton. 3:52 to go in the first quarter, and Stapleton has 2 fouls. He will have to exit the game. In for Windsor is Dakohta Sanderson.
But like you said, they're very deep. He sat down a lot of the third quarter and most of the fourth the other night, and they seem to do very well.
Also into the game for Windsor, one of my favorites off the bench this week, Hunter Grela, the junior guard, tough guard who had great minutes in the semifinal game. Poulin knocks them both down. We've got a 12-8 game just like that. Williamstown knocking on the door. Balch drawing a crowd finally, kicks it over. Actually, it was Dakota Page with a little dribble drive, kicking it to Grela, who could not corral it. 3 rows into the seats that goes. Into the game for Williamstown.
Ryan O'Neill.
A 6'5 junior, Ryan O'Neill, who will give them solid minutes off the bench.
Yeah, he'll give them a big height advantage inside, too.
Gingras almost losing it, gets it to Poulin, who goes weak side to the newly checked in Ryan O'Neill. And O'Neill fouled on the shot. Great job by the big man, Nathan Poulin, seeing his front court mate on that weak side. The foul for Windsor will be on Dakota Page. That is his first, but the team's third, as Stapleton has exited the game with 2 fouls. And with Stapleton out of the game, O'Neill missing the first, Nathan Poulin could really take over the remainder of this 3:25.
He sure can.
O'Neill's second shot is up, and it is good.
I think we're going to see Williamstown trying to pound the ball inside to either O'Neill or Poulin.
Also checked in for Windsor, actually it was Dakohta Sanderson with the turnover, as Poulin gets his big mitts into the passing lane to cause that turnover. Poulin from the perimeter pulls up, no good. And I thought that was going to be a foul on Williamstown. as the fight on the baseline between Meagher, but it goes back to Williamstown. They will retain possession into O'Neill, kicked over to Gingras, on top to Metcalf, who sees O'Neill on that three-point line on the baseline, not his shot. He quickly gets it back to Tassi, who will recycle the offense. And I say not his shot, but O'Neill's going to put it up. Air ball into the hands of Seth Balch, who gets it to Page, back on top to Grela, over to Balch, who is the hot shooter, who says, I'll do it again. But Balch, after hitting 4 threes cold on the last 2 shots, Poulin quickly gets it up the floor, feeds it to Gingras on the baseline, and just like that, a tie ball game, 12-all with 2:15 to go. Grela from three-point land, no go.
And there's the advantage of Williamstown in the height right there.
Absolutely, because they don't miss a lot when Ryan O'Neill comes in the game.
And Windsor's got to tighten up their offense, Lori. They're sloppy with the ball. They're not going to be able to get away with that this game.
That's exactly correct. And just like that, from O'Neill on the baseline back to Jacob Tassi, the Williamstown Blue Devils have their first lead of the game, 15-12 with 1:40 to go. Balch over to Grela, sizes it up, gets it to Meagher in the key. Meagher with that nice, soft turnaround shot. Ben Meagher, big bucket for the Yellow Jackets. Tassi quickly streaking down the left side. Corrals control, tries the skip pass over, and the ball just gets out of bounds. And Tassi quickly turns to his coach, Jack Carrier, and says, you know what? That was my bad.
Tassi taking responsibility.
Love the accountability. Love it. So Windsor with the possession. Grela back on top to Page. Into Meagher, back out to Page. Page a little dribble drive, kicks it to Grela, puts a shot up, not even close. Caleb Sweet with that lunch pail mentality, big board, and here goes Poulin in the open court. A little juke move from right inside the three-point arc, and Poulin is fouled. And that will be the 4th team foul.
Yeah, second foul on Page, too.
And the second foul on Dakota Page. And there it is again, that weak side block, but Sweet puts the finger roll, no good. Page is pushing the other way to Grela. And Grela, who just kind of gave a little forearm action to the newly checked in Tyler Orton, does Orton the offensive foul.
That was just a bizarre play. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that, Lori.
So Grela with his first team foul, obviously the 5th on Windsor. Tassi taking it amongst 3 players, and up from behind is Grela on Gingras, the turnover, and pumping it up is the newly checked in Duncan Frazer for Windsor. And Frazer, another senior, another strong player that comes off the bench for Windsor.
Windsor with a little full court pressure here.
Yeah, misses the shot, and on the ball out of bounds, it will go to Williamstown. In the hands of Tyler Orton, quickly gets it to Tassi in the backcourt. Tassi directing traffic, calls the play out. It is to Orton on the right side wing. Nowhere to go with it. Orton takes a little ball fake, steps towards the basket. Ball fake and step, my friends. And Orton with a big bucket off the bench.
Little running one-hander there from Tyler Orton. I like that.
And Williamstown up 17-14 in the hands of Grela. Kicked back out to Slocum. Misses it all. And Poulin with the big board just clears it 50 yards. No wide receiver there. So at the end of 1, what an exciting first quarter for this Division III final. We will step away for a few. 17-14 Blue Devils on top. Welcome back to the Barry Auditorium, Lori Shepard alongside John Pellegrini, and beyond entertaining first quarter.
Hey, and you know what? Nathan Poulin has not committed a foul. That is huge for not only for Poulin, but also for Williamstown.
The big story in the first quarter, Seth Balch, the sharpshooting senior for Windsor, with 4 threes as Windsor jumped out to a big lead. But as Williamstown always does, they just claw back. And we go into the second quarter. Williamstown up 17-14. Possession
Balch isn't in there
with Windsor. Little break for Balch, just a little one. In the hands of Slocum, he kicks it on top to Richardson, puts the shot up, no go. And Nathan Poulin, the glass eater, clears the board. Tassie up the right side, closely guarded by Grela. Kicks it over to Tyler Orton, who already hit a big one.
You can't let Orton alone like that. You just can't. He's too much of a sniper.
And what a huge shot by the junior guard. 5 points already on the evening for Tyler Orton. Big off the bench. Slocum kicks it over to Grela. Back to Slocum. Slocum over to Richardson on the right side. He tries to dribble drive, step through, and he turns it over. And quickly for Windsor, back into the game, the senior sniper Seth Balch, who has 4 3-pointers, but has cooled off since then, where he is 4 for 6 from the field. Tyler Orton gets it over the timeline, double teamed. He turns it over in the hands of Dakota Page.
They're going to call Metcalf on a push right there.
And excuse me, that was Slocum kicking it ahead to Duncan Frazer, who is fouled. And not a bad foul, as Windsor was out in transition. So this foul will go on Garrett Metcalf, his first, the team's first. Balch not guarded, hits his 5th 3, and how you don't close out or you lose 14 in the half-court inbound is beyond me.
And you know, that was a badly needed bucket, even though it's early in the game. That was a badly needed bucket.
And Balch gets from one end to the other, lays it up, but lowers the shoulder. So that will be an offensive foul on Balch, and that is his first, but that is Windsor's 6th team foul with 6:25 to go to the half. Next foul will put Williamstown at the charity stripe for the remainder of the first half. Balch just steps right in to the passing lane on Caleb Sweet, lays
Lori's
it home.
got 17 out of the 19 points.
So as we take a breath here, a very deep breath, at 6:06 to go in the second quarter. Nice little 4-0 run by Windsor, 5-0 run, excuse me.
Really needed 5-0 run.
Exactly, 20-19. Williamstown with the 1-point lead.
Now
Tassie
usually, Lori, in this point of the game, it's when Jacob Tassie starts to work his magic.
He does like that second quarter,
we'll see, like right now.
And Tassie hits the 3, but the foul called before the 3-point shot by Tassie. This foul going to go on Robert Slocum. And that will be the 7th team foul on the Yellow Jackets. So going to the line will be the junior Tyler Orton, who has 5 points. 5 points since entering the game late in the first quarter. And we talked about Tyler Orton, him and Ryan O'Neill, the big guns coming off the bench for the Blue Devils. Both squads will go deep on their bench, and they don't skip a beat, really.
No, they don't. It's really nice to see that, too. You hate to see offenses that are built around 6 players.
So Orton will step up on the 1-and-1, and it rattles in and out, and Balch there with another big rebound. And here is Slocum back out to Balch, who hits
on fire.
3. How many threes is that? 6, 7?
Six threes and a deuce.
Got ahead of myself.
20 out of the 22 points.
Wow, and the push foul the push on Slocum on that rebound. I don't like to disagree with things, but
go ahead, disagree, Lori. You're not going to be alone.
That was one where I might have let him play, but the foul does go on Slocum, his second, the team's 8th. O'Neill will step to the line for the 1-and-1 where he knocks down the first shot. So we have got 22-21. Windsor on top, 5:36 to go. 8, yes, that's right, basketball fans. 8 team fouls on Windsor to 1 foul on the Williamstown Blue Devils. O'Neill will step up, assess things, take that second shot, back iron, and the big rebound by Ben Meagher, who I really look to because he not just is a solid shooter, but he's got the big inside presence as well.
Oh, nice ball movement.
Ball movement, and the shot goes up by Frazer, no go, and Nathan Poulin there with another big board for Williamstown. Love to listen to the crowd. The shot goes up, the nice little pull-up by Metcalf. No go, ball trickles out of bounds.
Lori, I don't know if I've seen an auditorium game where with 5:11 left in the half, one player has 20 of the 22 points.
Do you think they might close out on Balch? I don't care if he's at half court, which he is right now.
I think I'd have somebody draped all over him.
Over to Frazer, who'll put up another shot, and credit Duncan Frazer off the bench for sticking with his shot. He nails a 3. 25-21 Windsor. Trap here off of the inbounds, and a great trap by Windsor. Jack Carrier will get the 30-second timeout, and we will stay right here to purchase a DVD keepsake copy of today's event. Click on the blue. Get the DVD button directly under your event in the video player. You see it right there. Or click on the Buy a DVD button on the top right-hand corner of the NFHS Network website. Great timeout by Carrier. He had to.
Yeah,
trapped in the corner.
Lori, he's echoing what you say. He's telling his players, hand in the face, hand in the face, hand in the face. And that's what they've lacked. They've been giving up that 3-point shot. And I tell you, who was the kid that hit the last one?
The last one was hit by Duncan Frazer.
He's missed about 4 times, but he's had some wide open shots.
And credit Frazer for sticking with his shot. A lot of those times players will stop shooting. And quickly breaking the press, they get it over to a wide open Colby Gingras, who knocks down the tray. 25-24, 4:25 to go to the half. Grela says, okay, I'll take it. And I gotta say this, Hunter Grela, one of my favorites off the bench for Windsor in their semifinal game, and he was camped out in that high post area. Coach, he turned, nobody respecting him, so he says, I'll take the lane.
Yeah, and I jinxed Nathan Poulin.
And Grela finishes the 3-point play the old-fashioned style. 28-24, 4:15 to go, and here we go. You gotta get a closeout.
Gingras is on fire. It's Gingras tonight.
You got to close out on Colby Gingras. I know you're going to look at Tassie on the perimeter, but Colby Gingras can heat up and take over a game, which he just did. Grela tries that move again. Hands scrapping turnover. Here's Tassie in the open floor. And Ryan O'Neill with a huge offensive board. And a foul that's going to take place on Ben Meagher. And I know I'm a long ways away from the play up here in the, I'll call it the crow's nest, but I didn't see the foul there, but it will go on Meagher. O'Neill did miss the putback, so must have caught him on the wrist. He'll step to the line to shoot 2. And again, Windsor with 9 team fouls. 3:51 to go to the half. Williamstown with 2.
Hey, great ball game, huh?
Oh, fabulous.
Getting their money's worth tonight.
We knew it would be 2 hours before game time. The line to to get in here was out the door, down the steps, headed to the parking lot. Division III boys basketball, where it's at. The defending champs, 4 out of the last 5 years, are the Williamstown Blue Devils. The Windsor Yellow Jackets looking for their first state championship since 2008. O'Neill hits both to give Williamstown the lead back. 29-28, 3:50 to go to the half. Up the floor comes Ryland Richardson, kicks it over to Frazer, misses a streaking Balch, gets it to Meagher. And here goes Frazer putting it on the floor, and you can't do that against this Williamstown defense. Just a suffocating smothering in the passing lane. Double, triple teaming, so Williamstown with the ball. He kicked over to Gingras, little dribble drive. He kicks it back out to Metcalf. Shot is in and out, but Nathan Poulin with the offensive board and the putback not there. So as we regroup in the hands of Balch, who steps through and kisses it off the glass, giving Windsor the lead back. 30-29, 3 minutes to go to the half. Nathan Poulin shake and bake. Takes on Richardson and Meagher. Nice little shake and bake by Poulin as he approaches the paint. Draws the foul.
It's on Richardson.
First foul on Richardson, the 10th team foul on Windsor. So with just a couple of ticks under 3 minutes to go to the half, Williamstown will be in the double bonus, and Nathan Poulin steps to the line for Williamstown. First shot is up, back iron.
Poulin having a quiet night, 4 points.
You know
but he's
what,
done
Coach?
A lot, though.
Exactly.
He's been a bear in the boards. He does so much.
And we found out in the semifinal game where Poulin had a quiet night and was in foul trouble, it didn't matter. So many weapons. Poulin hits the second. We are knotted up 30-all with 2:50 to go to the half. Richardson getting it over the timeline in the hands of Grela. Back on top to just checked in Dakohta Sanderson, who hits Meagher on that low block, in and out. Nice shot by Meagher, though. I'll give him the ball any time on that low block. Big rebound by Caleb Sweet. In the hands of Tassi, closely guarded by Grela. He gets it over to Gingras, kicks it back out to Tassi, who sizes up Grela and goes hard to the hole.
And Jacob Tassi's deadly from the foul line.
He really is, and he sized that up nicely. Once he got the ball back from Gingras, a little dribble drive on Grela, drawing a crowd of 3 white jerseys. Tassi will head to the line. 5 points on the night. First shot is up and good, which gives Williamstown the lead back, 31-30. Second shot by Tassi is up, back iron, but who's there? Nathan Poulin with a big board.
And there's
Kicks
Tassi.
To Tassi, puts up the 3. And the ball is just fumbled around and somehow makes its way into Caleb Sweet. Orton with the dish, hands in the passing lane. Windsor comes out. Richardson gets it to Balch, who shoots from Russia. And I mean that, Russia.
Wow, that was the 30-footer. That was the 30-footer.
I'm sorry, the first thing that came to my mind.
He's feeling it.
So off the front iron, Williamstown gets the big defensive board. And Tassi having his way with Hunter Grela, one of the key components off the bench for Windsor.
And he's finding out quickly that you can't give Tassi that first step. I mean, he is lightning quick.
You got to back off a little bit. So Hunter Grela, the junior guard for Windsor, with his 3rd foul, will send Tassi back to the line where he hits the first. Coming back into the game for Windsor, Duncan Frazer, the senior guard, out will go Hunter Grela, a key component of the bench for Windsor, but 3 fouls. He is going to have to sit out the last 141 of this first half. 32-30, Williamstown. Tassie's second shot is up and good. 33-30. Richardson with the ball in his hands. Sizes up Orton, a little shake and bake crossover, and calling the game a little bit tighter here. Tyler Orton with the hand check.
Yeah, Williamstown still has 4 fouls to give, so.
Absolutely, and that is Orton's first. So Windsor will look to inbound under their own basket. Balch will inbound to Meagher, who goes strong to the bucket, but bounces off Caleb Sweet. And on the rebound, the foul goes against Windsor. That'll be Ben Meagher's second.
Second foul there.
The 11th team foul on Windsor. Nathan Poulin will step to the line to shoot 2. Not even making him earn the 1-and-1 as they're in the double bonus. Poulin's first shot is up and a clean shot. 34-30, 1:28 to go to the half. And Ben Meagher cannot afford to pick up another foul. Key component, they already got Adam Stapleton on the bench with 2 fouls. Second shot by Poulin is good. And just like that, 35-30, Meagher heads to the bench.
Well, I don't know about this, Lori. You know what I mean?
Either.
I don't know where you're going. I don't know who I would rather roll the dice on, Meagher or Stapleton. I don't know.
So Stapleton checks back in foul trouble. And kissing it off the glass is Balch, but he doesn't get the shooter's roll. And as the ball is just kicked around, it goes in the hands of Caleb Sweet, who pushes it up the floor to Gingras, and that shot by Gingras.
That was halfway down.
Thank you.
That was halfway down. He usually doesn't miss.
Thank you for saying that, Coach, because that's exactly where I was headed. Needless to say, Windsor has the ball back with 55 seconds to go and a much-needed possession here for the Yellow Jackets. Shot goes up by Sanderson, no go, and Williamstown with a big defensive board as Gingras gets caught in that trap. He kicks it out to Orton.
And Williamstown seems to be getting the 50-50 balls, Lori.
Absolutely.
They seem to be out hustling them. That's the difference.
So Poulin has the ball, closely guarded by Stapleton. 5 feet beyond the three-point arc, pretty much at half court. He looks back at Coach Carrier and says 1 shot as we are down to 18 seconds to go to the half. Closely guided by Stapleton. If Poulin just gets a high ball screen, Stapleton can't foul him. Shot goes up, and wow.
You know what? That wasn't necessary.
No, getting the rebound, Ryland Richardson.
He had 6 seconds to bring the ball up the court. And
he did, Richardson. Yeah. And now Williamstown gets the ball back with 2 seconds to go, and Tassie puts the shot up, and no go. So we hit the halftime buzzer here at this Division III final. The defending state champs, the Williamstown Blue Devils, on top in what has been an energetic and incredibly entertaining game. Williamstown up 35-30. We will be back after the break on the NFHS network. Back here at the Barry Auditorium, I think we've all caught our breath here after that first half. Lori Shepard along with John Pellegrini, the Division III boys state championship game. And it is all that it has been hyped up to be.
And we have a rerun of the other night. A fairly close game. Yep. The next 3.5 minutes. We always talk with Williamstown. The next 3.5 minutes coming out of the locker room is going to be key for whoever their opponent is.
Absolutely. And Tom Corbett and I go with that theory for every game. It's the first 2 to 3 minutes of that second half that are so vital. But like you just said, Coach, in the quarterfinal game, Williamstown comes out and goes on a 17-2 run. In the semifinal game, Williamstown comes out and goes on a 17-6 run. And you cannot get in a hole against the Williamstown Blue Devils. We all know that.
And they're going to have to clean up their game, too. Windsor's going to have to clean up their turnovers. They threw the ball away a lot, committed a lot of foolish fouls. I mean, how many team fouls they have in that first half? 11?
11 team fouls,
yeah, 11
exactly.
Team fouls. They're not going to be able to win this game in order to do that.
And Ben Meagher and Stapleton in foul trouble in the first half. They'll get a clean slate here in the second half. So as they finish up the little warm-up toss, it's 35-30, and the leading scorers on the night. I know you're going to love to give the Windsor leading scorer to us.
Yeah, the Windsor leading scorer is far and away Seth Balch with his 22 points.
22.
Yeah, Ben Meagher has 2. Duncan Frazer has 3, and Hunter Grela has 3, and that's the scoring. Four people in the scoring column. And what's totally opposite is Williamstown. Tyler Orton having a nice little game with 5 points. Colby Gingras has 3 threes, not surprising for 9.
Yeah.
Jacob Tassi, quiet 8 points. Jacob Tassi's not going to finish with 8 points. I guarantee that. Garrett Metcalf got a deuce. Nate Poulin's 7, a quiet 7, and Ryan O'Neill with 4 foul shots. O'Neill gave him some good minutes in there off the bench.
And as will Ryan O'Neill, always giving him solid minutes along with Tyler Orton. So the possession to start this second half belongs to Williamstown, and inbounding will be Gingras into the hands of Jacob Tassi, closely guarded by Dakota Page. Page in foul trouble as well for Windsor. So that's going to play into these 3 minutes, and here is Tassi with the shot from three-point land, but a big rebound by the senior Adam Stapleton. Gets it up ahead quickly to Robert Slocum, who hits the 3, 35-33. And as Williamstown gets out in transition, Meagher gets a hand in there. Quickly going the other way is Dakota Page pulling up from the elbow, and just like that, 30 seconds in, tie ball game.
Wow.
Here comes Metcalf.
Harry couldn't have written a better script for this one.
First 2 to 3 minutes key, and
that was not a kick, was it?
Looked like it went off. I was going to say his ankle, but I've just been told.
I thought he just put his hand out there, but to my 65-year-old eyes, Tom Corbett Sr., much younger man than me, scoped out that mistake.
So Metcalf with the dribble, drive, and finish, but Poulin there with a huge board. All right, I got to say this. I saw it in the first game, or the U32 game previously to this game, that semifinal D2 game. Why do we not put a body and box out?
I know.
Why?
I
want someone to answer that, because Poulin's on that weak side block. How do you not box out Nathan Poulin? First shot up by Poulin, fouled on the putback. Front iron and no good.
Uncharacteristic miss for him, Lori.
You want to rely on your athleticism, but get a body on someone, especially a Nathan Poulin. Second shot good. 7 minutes. We are 1 minute into the second half. 36-35 Williamstown. Page over to Slocum, who just hit that big 3 into Meagher, to Stapleton at the foul line area. Not sure that's his shot, but as they scrum for the rebound, and I like the word scrum, bodies flying, and the foul will be on Williamstown. I believe that's going on Tassi. That is his first.
His first.
More importantly, Windsor will retain possession.
Nobody remotely from Williamstown in foul trouble. So.
Exactly. Which is good for Williamstown and Nathan Poulin, who is susceptible to the foul trouble. Dribbling from the top down to the baseline is Page, and a big rebound by Nathan Poulin. And he says, I'll bring it up. I'm going to size up Stapleton. I'm going to hit my guy, Sweet, who turns the ball over. And as it makes its way to Seth Balch, He does not want to give that ball up. Balch 22 points in the first half. But
that's Stapleton's first points, Lori.
Stapleton with the huge weak side offensive board and the putback, 37-36 Windsor. Tassie off the high ball screen by Sweet, kicks it over to his buddy Gingras, who misses the shot, but again, another offensive board by Nathan Poulin. And as the ball makes its way to Tassie, he just dribble drives through three Windsor defenders, 38-37 Williamstown. Page with the ball on top, over to Meagher on the left side, guarded by Sweet. Back on top, swung back over to Page on the right side, on top to Balch. Sizes up Gingras, but then trips, no call. And another turnover for Windsor, so as we recycle, Tassie has it. High post to Sweet. Poulin diagonal cut, doesn't get it, but here comes Gingras, who comes off a crowd, Metcalf, who comes off a crowd and just lays it in. That was too easy. 40-37.
Somebody's got to step in there, Lori. Very simple.
Rotation defense, my friend. Rotation D. Meagher with the shot, no good. And coming away with the rebound is Caleb Sweet. And Windsor just kind of stood there and watched it. Sweet's got it from Poulin over half court, gets it back into the hands of Tassie, who's feeling it, pulls up, no go, follows his shot, lays it up, no go. Stapleton kicks it out to Balch, who says, I want to shoot that three-pointer again. And he does, and it goes. 4:05, we are knotted up.
They've weathered the storm, Lori.
Yep, first half, 5 lead changes and 3 ties in the first half, and we're headed that way here in the second half. Nice little trap by Windsor on Metcalf. And I believe the foul will go on Seth Balch.
That's his second.
Nope, I am wrong. Ben Meagher, who picks up his third, and they cannot lose Balch, Meagher, or Stapleton here if they want to have a chance. Poulin shoots, no go, quickly going the other way. Here is Balch as the little Euro step through, boom, boom, and lays it in at 42-40.
27
Windsor.
for Balch, Lori. 27 and counting.
And we have got 3:35 to go, and into the key goes Metcalf, kicks it to a wide open Tassie. Rebound again by Williamstown on the offensive boards. That was too easy. Gingras with the rebound, gets it to Poulin, kisses it off the glass. 42 all. Page over to Balch, closely guarded by Gingras. He still puts the shot up, no good. In the defensive board by Metcalf. Tassie in the open floor, over half court, gets it to Sweet. Inside to a double-teamed Poulin. It goes Sweet to Tassie. And I'm going to give Slocum credit. Hand in the passing lane, but it deflects off of Gingras. So the possession on the turnover by the Blue Devils will go back to Windsor. And you are so right, Coach. They have weathered the storm. A little under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Williamstown's finding themselves in a position they're not familiar with, Lori.
That is exactly correct, and you are so right. The deeper we go into this third quarter with 2:35 to go, but you won't watch them panic. They don't panic. Got the ball into Stapleton, but
he just flung that ball up there. That was ugly. Sorry, Mr. Stapleton.
Like to see Stapleton get the ball, turn, and survey it before he just chucks it up there. Orton with the runner, no good. Balch with the defensive board. Sized up on Gingras is Balch. Kicks it over to Page. Page with Tassie closely guarding him. And they poke away by Tassie, but the hand check called on Tassie. 2 team fouls. Tassie's second, 2 team fouls for Williamstown, 2 for Windsor.
Tassie and Poulin, I don't think have yet to come out of the game, Lori. There.
And Windsor will retain possession on the foul. Dakota Page will look to inbound it to Balch, who wants to shoot it again. And he does, missing off the
Poulin
side.
Almost hit his head on the ceiling on that rebound, Lori.
Poulin with a huge rebound. Tassie caught in a double team, but passes out of it. Give and go to Poulin.
And that's an offensive foul.
And what a nice play. The give and go with Nathan Poulin. Colby Gingras back to Poulin.
Now that's only 2 on Poulin, but the
still,
intensity's going to increase, Lori, and he's going to have to keep his cool, and he's going to have to play within himself.
Exactly. That was a gorgeous setup play, but Windsor doing such an awesome job impeding the pathway, standing their ground to cause the offensive charge on Poulin. That is 2 on Poulin. That is 3 team fouls on Williamstown to 2 on Windsor. So after all that, in what is still a tie ball game, 42 all, minute 45 to go in the third quarter. Page to Meagher. Over to Balch. Tassie falls down.
Oh! That was more than halfway down.
That really was. Balch with another 3.
Here's the sniper. No.
But another big board by Gingras. Huge board by the guard. Back to Gingras. O'Neal wide open, gets bumped. Poulin with the offensive putback, no good, and out of all that comes Slocum with the ball for Windsor on top to Meagher. Back over to Page, and he will reset the team. Meagher on the right side, closely guarded by Poulin into Stapleton, who actually gets it, turns, nice little, I'm going to call that a baby hook by Stapleton. 4
points here in the third quarter for Stapleton. He's having a nice game after getting in early foul trouble.
Trying to trap on Orton. He dribbles out of it, gets it to Tassie. Meagher with a solid defense alters the shot of Tassie and comes away. Meagher with the board. Now in the hands of Page. 30 seconds to go. Windsor up by 2. Balch gets it to Meagher off the screen. And the three-pointer by Meagher off a gorgeous screen.
Beautiful play.
Absolutely beautiful. Kept their composure. Orton gets it over to Gingras. Gingras trapped out there, trying to get out of that trap. Gets it in the hands of Tassie. 5 seconds to go. Tassie's going to go coast to coast, meaning from the foul line.
And there's 3 fouls on Poulin right there.
So the foul you don't want on Nathan Poulin with 1.3 seconds. 1.3 seconds. We'll give the ball back to Windsor. It's got to be a catch and shoot, so Williamstown will bring the full court pressure. Don't blame them. So the quarterback throw by Duncan Frazer, no good. But at the end of 3,
wow!
This Division III NFHS final, 47-42, Windsor on top. We'll be back in a moment for the fourth quarter. Back here at the Barry Auditorium for this D3 State Championship game. Today's game is also available for all subscribers via our mobile website. Log on to nfhsnetwork.com from your smartphone or tablet and view live games or replays from anywhere. And feel the energy.
We got ourselves a barn burner.
Through
a near capacity crowd here. This is the Barry Aud. This is what it's all about.
You're going to love this. Through 3 quarters, and I'm missing the play here, but I got to give this stat out. 6 ties, 15 lead changes through 3 quarters of this Division III Boys State Championship final. And Windsor gets the first take here, and Meagher fouled on the low block. He'll step to the line, misses the first, but team fouls, 5 on Williamstown. 2 on Windsor. Complete reversal of the first half. Meagher's second shot rattles in.
You don't want to leave too many points out there, Lori. I can tell you, not against the Williamstown team. That could really end up costing you.
Skip pass way over to Gingras, who puts the little runner up. And no go. Big rebound by Windsor as Dakota Page will look to reset the offense. And Colby Gingras getting to guard Seth Balch. That's not a gift. And Harry Ladue, Coach Ladue, not liking what he sees just 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. We'll take a 30-second. We'll keep it here. High school sports fans, never miss another game. Become a subscriber to the NFHS network to watch live event coverage, game replays, and highlights from high school sporting events from across the country. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination, NFHSnetwork.com. We are high school, and I think I'm going to lose my voice in this fourth quarter, Coach.
You probably will. I'm watching Williamstown. They're a little tentative now from three-point land. Gingras, they're not pulling the trigger as quick as they normally do.
And a good time out by Coach Ladue, not liking what he sees, understanding we've just missed 2 foul shots. Every possession huge in this fourth quarter. So they will inbound to Dakota Page, who kicks it over to Frazer. Frazer sizing it up, gets it to Balch on top, closely guarded by Caleb Sweet. Balch will recycle the offense, dribbles through the legs a few times, sizes up Sweet, decides I'm going to go to the basket. And one. But Seth Balch celebrating as he should, because that was a fabulous one-on-one move, but a lot of game left here, young man. Coach, you could completely see him sizing up Caleb Sweet. He knows Sweet is tough, but out on that perimeter, he knew he needed to get that first step by him. Balch converts the three-point play. 50-42, 7 minutes to go. Orton looking at a double team, triple team, kicks it back to Tassie, who gets it over to, once again, a wide open Colby Gingras. Sweet with a huge rebound.
Look at it.
And poked away from Tassie in the hands of Balch. He knows I'm going to go skip pass to Mr. Dakota Page. And just like that, folks, 52-42. Windsor on top, 6:33 to go in the game. Coach Carrier wants to talk about it, and we'll step aside and talk about it too. Back in a moment. Back here at the Berry Auditorium, Division III final. The number 1 seed Windsor Yellow Jackets on top of the number 2 seed and defending state champs Williamstown Blue Devils, 52-42. Mark this down. 6:33 to go in the game, and Windsor with a 10-point lead.
It's a lot of coaching going on down there on both benches, Lori.
Absolutely.
Assistant coaches up, talking to players. It's just a chess match, X's and O's.
Williamstown with 2 timeouts, Windsor 4 timeouts. The ball in the hands of Poulin over to Tassie. Gingras again wide open. They don't want to guard him. He gets his own rebound. Nowhere to go in that double team. He turns it over in the hands of Dakota Page, streaking up the right side. Oh boy.
Oh!
Whoa. But a big
4th foul on Poulin.
Big rebound offensive board by Ryland Richardson, because Seth Balch said, I'm going to hit this 3 and bring the roof in. He misses it. Huge rebound by Richardson.
Poulin coming over to Jack Carrier and saying, Coach, that's 4. And Jack said, get in there.
We're pretty sure Coach Carrier knows how many fouls you have, young man. And Nathan Poulin with 4. The shot up by Richardson, the junior guard, is good.
First points for him.
Williamstown, 7 team fouls. That's 7. Windsor with 2. Second shot by Richardson, good. 54-42, 6 minutes to go in this D3 state championship game on NFHS Network. Gingras trying to find his way. I'm sorry, Metcalf. Why do I always get those two mixed up? Tassie with a huge three-point shot. And I mean, folks, that was huge. 2 feet beyond the three-point arc, 54-45. A lot of game to go. Page over to Richardson. Meagher kicks it back out to Frazer. Richardson over to Page. Little two-guard set into Meagher in the post. Back out to Richardson. I'm sorry, Frazer gets his own rebound. Kind of tipped out to him. And the steal by Gingras. He pulls up and resets the offense. Tassie's like, I'm going to shoot another three. No good. Meagher with a huge rebound, and Windsor's going to want to slow it down and collect themselves. Little trap by Williamstown in the hands of Balch. Nice little triangle passing going on. Great ball movement by Windsor. And I'm not sure why Frazer shot
I don't understand that either.
You want to go for the high percentage looks right now. 4:35 to go. You want high percentage shots. Relax. You got 17 fouls in your favor. Little trap going on by Williamstown. Kicked back out to Richardson. Over to Page. Over to Balch, who shoots another three.
I don't understand that. That is just bad basketball, Lori. They are playing right into Williamstown's hands.
They really are. And pulling with the
rebound. And there you go. Bingo.
Yep. Over to Gingras, who hasn't been guarded the whole entire game. And just like that, 54-48. 4 minutes to go. Page over to Balch on the baseline. In a double team. Kicks it back out to Page. Over to Richardson. Oh, Williamstown reaching in, but credit Balch. Not a high percentage look, but a 10-footer from the baseline and nothing but the bottom of the net. 56-48. And Balch steps into the passing lane. Goes the other way for the easy lay-in, and we're back from a 6-point game to a 10-point game.
And Poland really couldn't do anything on that play defensively to chase him down with the fouls.
Poland pulls up for three, no good. Big rebound by Frazer. In the hands of Richardson, and Windsor really, really has to take care of the ball here. Three, we are approaching the and they don't. God. And they don't.
Very poor pass.
Through the legs.
Offensive foul. Wow.
And a good job selling it is Ryland Richardson. Tassie had hit the shot, kissing it off the glass, but the offensive charge goes against Tassie, and a full timeout by Williamstown with 3 minutes to go, and we'll take it to back in a moment. You are watching the Division III final here on NFHS. Back here at the Barry Auditorium, Lori Shepard along with John Pellegrini, Division III boys.
Doesn't get any better.
Final, what he said.
Doesn't get any better.
And Williamstown calling the timeout. They are left with only one timeout. Windsor with 4.
But you know, Lori, Jack Carrier is calm. He's collected. He gave his boys instructions.
Absolutely.
And you know, let's see what they come out with the first offensive set here.
And a full court man-to-man defense being applied by the Blue Devils. 3 minutes to go. Windsor up by 10. Williamstown with 8 team fouls to Windsor's 2.
I'd go right at Poulin. I
personally take care of the ball, run some time off the clock, spend the rest of the next 2:45 at the foul line. Balch on top, sizes up.
And he's going to the foul line.
Yeah, nice little ball fake by Balch, right outside of the 3-point line. All you need when you give that ball fake, you just need your defender to rock back a little bit. Balch seeing that. Dribble drives in the key. Foul on Gingras, his second, but more so Williamstown's 9th team foul. Shot by Balch, nothing but the bottom of the net. And Seth Balch having a career tonight. Is that an understatement from me?
That is an understatement.
It is. Second shot up and good by Balch.
Ice in his veins.
60-48, 2:40 to go in the game. Tassie streaks down the right side. Orton almost slides that pivot foot, but the nice little give and go to Orton, and he misses it wide open. Stapleton with the big rebound, and Windsor no problem giving that lane up in the hands of Richardson. Back to Balch. Balch picks up his dribble, but Ben Meagher comes to the rescue. Gets the handoff and gives it right back to Balch because that's who they want at the foul line. Picking up his dribble again, gets it in the hands of Dakota Page to Stapleton. Back to Balch on top, over to Meagher on the right side. 2 minutes to go in this state championship final. Dakota Page puts the head down, and that foul will be on, I believe, Jacob Tassie. The 10th.
That's 4 on Tassie, Lori.
10th team foul on Williamstown, and Jacob Tassie's 4th, and he comes over to let Coach Carrier know that that's 4. Coach Carrier, as calm as can be, just shakes his head. You're absolutely right, young man. Keep playing. First shot by Dakota Page is good. Second shot on the way is good as well. 62-48, 1:55 to go in this Division III state championship game. Gingras gives it to a wide open Poulin, who kicks it to his mate on the weak side block. Poulin with the big offensive board. Rattles home 50-62, 143, and Nathan Poulin will step to the line to try to finish off the old-fashioned three-point play.
They're taking Tassie out for defensive reasons here. They're going to play offense
for
and defense. Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially Tassie with 4 fouls.
So 1:43 to go. Stapleton as well for Windsor with 4 fouls. Poulin's shot is up, no good. Stapleton with a big board and bumped from behind by Caleb Sweet. Stapleton will step to the line where he has not been yet tonight. 4 points for Stapleton in foul trouble in the first half, and Tassie will come back in.
But you look at individual players from Williamstown. I know that they're on the bottom end of this, but Caleb Sweet has had a great game. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
he really has. He does everything that Jack Carrier asked him to do.
Stapleton's first shot rattles around and out. So again, 62-50, 1:41 to go in this state championship final. Stapleton with one more shot as they are in the double bonus. Stapleton's second shot, back iron, no good, and the newly checked in Cale Johnson for Williamstown with rebound. Poulin brings it up in the hands of Gingras, who will dribble drive hard to the hole, and it rattles out in the hands of Balch. Back to Page, over to Meagher, and Meagher is just handcuffed. So Ben Meagher will step back to the line. 5 points on the night for Meagher, 0 for 2 from the foul line.
Seth Balch with 34 points, Lori.
You know, I said before the game, and I said this to our cameraman, Garrett Sicily, I said, Seth Balch and Ben Meagher have to have big games.
Yeah.
That's Meagher's 6 point. We know what Mr. Balch has done here, but Meagher does so much more.
He's that lunch pail mentality, Lori, that you always talk about.
Big, rugged body, and they have been key as Ben Meagher hits both 64-50 with 1:20 to go. Tassie bringing up the floor against Page. Strong to the hole is Tassie. And the finish as Tassie he had the
Oh, my word, I'm telling you.
He had the alleyway. Scores it and one for Jacob Tassie as that foul will go on Seth Balch. And if I'm Windsor, I just play not necessarily a Pac-Man defense because you got to get out on the shooters, but you got to clog that lane.
Yeah, you do.
Tassie up with his shot. It rattles home. And 64-53, an 11-point game with still a minute 15 to go. Folks, this game is far from over.
Yeah.
And Coach Ladue quickly brings his bunch over as Dakota Page will head to the line where he is 2 for 2, six points on the night for the senior guard. And the nice thing for Windsor is it's the double bonus. And that rattles out on the side. Page misses that. He will get another shot. 10, beyond the bonus for Windsor. 4 team fouls for Windsor. 64-53, 1:15 to go, and he misses both of them.
Bad.
And Poulin with the rebound gets it to Tassie, who you know what he's going to do. Jump stop, kicks it to Gingras, which is not what I thought he was going to do.
No.
And Meagher with the big board kicks it ahead to Slocum, who's just hanging out by himself.
And Windsor's feeling it now.
66-53, 52 seconds, and Tassie, ice in his veins, hits a 3. Kicked ahead to Slocum, who is just running the floor. He kicks it up, no good. Tassie couldn't foul him, he has 4. But the offensive board by Windsor. Dakota Page not sure right where to go.
Poulin fouled out.
And the senior Nate Poulin fouls out with 33 seconds to go.
And this one may be in the record books, Lori.
And a lot of subbing in, exiting the game, Robert Slocum for Windsor, and what a nice game for him. Nate Poulin fouls out, but covering Central Vermont for the last 4 years, I got to tip my hat to Nate Poulin, one of my favorite players from his freshman year up through, just got better and better. And
He's got a huge heart.
Double machine.
Got a huge heart. He just gives you everything, whether it's a 30-point game or 2-point game, he gives you all.
And Dakota Page hits the first shot into the game for Williamstown, the junior / guard forward Ethan Roby.
There's Balch.
Leaving the game, the senior guard Seth Balch with how many points, Coach?
32, I believe.
I knew you wanted to say it one more time. 32 of the
points.
67 points by Seth Balch. Off the second miss, the ball in the hands of Metcalf. Tassie puts up another 3, and it is good.
We knew Tassie would have a great second half.
And Tassie, a one-man wrecking crew here for the Blue Devils.
He's got 22 points tonight.
He's got 22 points.
12 points in the second half.
3 threes here in the fourth quarter to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
But Dakota Page will step back to the line for Windsor, where he is 3 for 5 in the fourth quarter. Windsor up by 8. Make that 9. And coming out of the game, the senior big guy for Windsor, the 6'2 senior, Ben Meagher, who does have that lunch pail mentality.
That's right.
He does a little bit of everything for the Yellow Jackets. Second shot is good, and it's a 10-point lead by Windsor for Windsor with 20 seconds to go. Tassie's going to shoot another 3. Why not? Shot is up, no good, and the newly checked in Tyler Wright for the Yellow Jackets gets a big board. Also checking in for the Yellow Jackets, Danielle Cardillo, a junior guard. and Tate Hurd, a senior guard, on the floor for the Yellow Jackets, along with Hunter Grela, one of the sparks off the bench for the Yellow Jackets here at the Barry Odd.
And you know, Lori, oddly enough, it was the first 4 minutes of that second half that told the tale.
Exactly.
Really, only just oppositely. And that's, you know, Windsor came out of the locker room and
exactly.
Bang.
Yep. And Grela hits his first, and the Windsor Yellow Jackets, the starting five now on the bench, starting to pass around the hugs. Metcalf pulls up for a three, front iron. Tassi tries to get the rebound, but the ball ends up in the hands of Danielle Cardillo for the Windsor Yellow Jackets, and he is fouled. So with 2.1 seconds to go, Cardillo will step to the line for Windsor. 2.1 into the game for Williamstown. Cameron Eaton, actually he's been in the game. Who am I kidding here? I think I was looking at Ethan Roby checked in, and Cardillo misses the first, but that doesn't really matter right now. 70-59, 2 seconds to go, and we are going to have a new state champ in Division III. Cardillo hits the second. 71-59, and that's all she wrote, folks.
Wow.
As the Windsor Yellow Jackets storm the floor. A final score of 71-59. The number 1 seed upends the number 2 seed and defending state champs, and the Williamstown Blue Devils,
amazing,
the 5-time champs in the last 6 years, pass around the hugs but give way to the Yellow Jackets in a well-earned victory here on NFHS. We said Windsor had to come out of the locker room and withstand the eye of the hurricane that is the Blue Devils, who typically on their playoff run have scored 17 points in the third quarter alone and gone on 17-2 and 17-6 runs. But Windsor knew that. They've done their scouting. They know the Blue Devils. They withstood it. They took charge with 6:33 to go. In the fourth quarter was when Windsor took their first double-digit lead at 10 points. And then with where I thought Williamstown might go on a run, at the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter, 3 minutes to go in the game, Windsor still on top, Coach, by 10, 58-48. And that was the exclamation point for these Windsor Yellow Jackets. Coach, I'm going to turn it over to you for a few seconds to get some scoring from the game.
Yeah, let's start with Twinfield. Let's start with Twinfield. I'm sorry. Let's not start. Let's start with Williamstown as they bring out the trophy. Ryan O'Neill had 5 points tonight. Nate Poulin, 14 points from the big guy. Garrett Metcalf, a quiet 4. Jacob Tassi, 22 points. He exploded in the second half. Colby Gingras for 12, and Tyler Orton had a bunch of 5 points for 59 points. But on the other side, 71 points, 36 of them from Seth Balch. 36 points for the senior. Incredible. Ben Meagher had 7, Robert Slocum had 5, Dan Cardillo had 2, Dakota Page had 9, and Hunter Grela had 5, and Adam Stapleton, who had a quiet 4 points, but did a lot of good things while he was on the floor, Lori.
A good defensive presence in the second half was Stapleton, because he was in foul trouble in that first half.
Yeah, I think, the crowd is kind of shocked here, Lori.
Yes, they are.
They really are. I mean, we talked about Windsor being an underdog. I mean, you're the number 1
at
seed.
the 1 seed.
And you're the underdog. And
they made us pay for saying that.
They did.
And I don't blame them one bit. I really don't.
They did.
Both teams coming in with a record of 20-2, and you're going up against the defending state champs. That would be why we made that statement. Certainly nothing. We didn't want to take anything away from Windsor, because watching them in that semifinal game, at the end of their semifinal victory over Thetford, I said to myself internally, they can match up with Williamstown, and that they did.
And you know what? We're watching a disappointed Williamstown team, but a classy Williamstown
absolutely.
team.
Yep.
Disciplined
absolutely.
and classy. They're taking their medals. They're disappointed, but a lot of hugs and accolades going on by coaches. A lot of respect right there, Lori.
And the Blue Devils will graduate Cale Johnson, Nathan Poulin, and Caleb Sweet, so they return a good nucleus of this state runner-up championship team. So what a game. Everything it was built up to be. The line out the door 2 hours before tip-off. Everybody wanting to see these storied programs, these powerhouse programs of the Williamstown Blue Devils and the Windsor Yellow Jackets. So one more time from the Barry Odd, Lori Shepard alongside John Pellegrini. You've been watching the D3 state championship game between the Windsor Yellow Jackets and the defending champ Williamstown Blue Devils, but we have crowned a new champ tonight, folks, in Division III boys basketball. As I sign off, the Windsor Yellow Jackets, the 1 seed, with a huge victory over the defending champs, 71-59.
As Tony